This month, we celebrate an iconic venue and competition in Qatar. We follow the Qatari odyssey of two Brazilian football fans. And we talk to a Saudi Arabian legend with plenty of World Cup pedigree. Khalifa International Stadium was the first of 8 FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 venues that opened its doors to the public. In May 2017, it hosted the 45th edition of the Amir Cup, Qatar's most prestigious domestic football competition. This iconic venue has undergone 2 reconstructions since it was first built in 1976. It was the first stadium in the Gulf region with natural grass all those 46 years ago. Al-Mansouri has dedicated more than 3 decades of his life to Khalifa Stadium and has been an integral part of its redevelopments.
We've lived the most amazing tournaments here, like the 11th edition of the Gulf Cup in 1992, when amazing players such as Mubarak Mustafa and Ahmed Khalil, among others, played a key role in that tournament. This stadium was also the venue of the FIFA Club World Cup in 2019, the World Athletics Championships, as well as the final of the 2011 AFC Asian Cup. During all this time, everything has changed here, until finally we can all see the stadium in its current glory.
Khalifa Stadium has been part of not only Qatar's but also the region's proud sporting history. Hussein Saeed, Iraq's prolific goalscorer in the 1970s and 80s, has fond memories of the stadium's earlier days.
We took part in many events here, as the Khalifa Stadium was one of the biggest and most beautiful stadiums at the time. Nowadays, we're witnessing how the Khalifa Stadium has evolved into something bigger than ever before. It is now the epicenter of all sports, as well as the venue where Aspire Academy activities take place. The sporting events this venue has hosted is all thanks to the development of it over the years, undertaken by the state of Qatar. All in all, it's a multi-purpose venue as well as an artistic icon that provides many different services. You know, the stadium has also witnessed great games, such as the one between Argentina and Brazil.
The second redevelopment of Khalifa Stadium between 2013 and 2017 saw the addition of modern hospitality suites, new broadcast facilities, and additional spectator seats to meet FIFA World Cup requirements. 3 years ahead of the big event, the stadium was put to a full international test during the FIFA Club World Cup Qatar 2019. A capacity crowd, including 15,000 visiting Brazilian and English fans, witnessed Liverpool defeat Brazilian giants Flamengo in a thrilling final. The 50th edition of the Amir Cup final was the latest glamour event that Khalifa Stadium hosted 8 months ahead of the big kickoff. 7-time champions Al Gharafa faced 3-time champions Al Dahail, whose Belgian international Toby Alderweireld couldn't wait to play in Qatar's iconic stadium.
All the big stadiums are ready, so it's always nice to go there and play there, and we have to win it, so I have a good feeling about it. It's an honor, you know, it's a lot of history about it. This is the 50th time, so it's up to us to make it a very special day to win it.
Despite Al Gharafa's best efforts, Al Dahail dominated the match. The Red Knights celebrated their 4th Amir Cup title with a convincing 5-1 victory. And the stage was set for Toby & Co to lift Qatar's most sought-after football trophy. Khalifa International Stadium will remain Qatar's national football stadium after it plays host to 10 FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 matches, including the penultimate game of the Arab world's first FIFA World Cup. More history in the making for the region's premium sporting venue. The volunteer application process for the FIFA World Cup officially opened on the 21st of March at a glittering event at Qatar Amphitheatre in Doha. 3,500 potential applicants were greeted by special guests during a live show broadcast around the world. There are 20,000 places up for grabs.
Volunteers are the lifeblood of any major sporting event. They are the smile, they are the first contact that many people have when they enter a country, when they arrive at a stadium, when they're finding their seat, they're at their hotel. And their smile, their infectious enthusiasm is really what brings, such joy and atmosphere to the World Cup. And so we work, side by side with volunteers throughout all these different areas that they're involved with, and they really do bring real operational support to us, the organisers.
For many volunteers, it'll be their first time when the FIFA World Cup comes to Qatar. For others, volunteering's already an important part of their life.
From a young age, I have liked volunteering. I wanted to take part in this event because it's the first time such a huge sporting event has been staged in the Middle East, and I really want to be a small part of it.
Being a volunteer, when you get involved with the community and you get to know people, it's, for me, part of my mental health. It's how I keep myself mentally stable, where we go and you can have fun and we find people that have a life just like us.
Tim Cahill represented Australia in 4 FIFA World Cups, and the volunteers were as important to the players as anyone else.
My experience is they pretty much, as soon as we get off the plane, they show us where to go, our hotels, our training grounds, and you build a rapport with them. You become friends and you spend the month or however long it's going to be with your team and also your family. And I suppose for that, it's been special for me because I've been here during the Emir Cup, the Club World Cup, the Arab Cup, the volunteers, and I've experienced it as a player and now as a fan. So they play a massive part and they'll be the glue that brings this tournament together.
Volunteering is the greatest experience ever because it gives you an opportunity to work with people, to network, to make memories, to meet people from different nationalities, and that alone is something we have to look forward to as volunteers. And again, it's the learning moments that you have to take with you after the whole journey.
Stakes were high when Africa's top 10 nations decided their FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 fate in 5 two-legged playoffs. In the latest instalment of West Africa's derby, Ghana's Thomas Partey gave the visitors the lead. Nigeria's Truce Dekong levelled the score from the penalty spot in Abuja to make it all square. The first leg's goalless draw placed Ghana ahead of Nigeria on the away goals rule as they celebrated their 4th FIFA World Cup appearance. Joy for the Black Stars. In a repeat of the most recent AFCON final, a capacity crowd at Cairo's International Stadium witnessed Egypt's 1-0 win over Senegal. Thanks to this own goal by Saliou Ciss. Four days later, it was the turn of the African champions to take an early lead in Dakar. Despite Senegal's dominance, they couldn't break the aggregate deadlock in the remaining 117 minutes of regulation and extra time. In the ensuing penalties, Liverpool's Mohamed Salah missed Egypt's first spot kick, while his club teammate Sadio Mane made it 3-1 for the Lions of Teranga. Cameroon confirmed their African record of 8 qualifications when the indomitable Lions came from behind deep into extra time's injury time in Algeria. Olympique Lyonnais' Toko Ekambi netted the all-important winner. DR Congo and their small contingent of fans in Casablanca were hoping for an upset. Those hopes were soon dashed when Ligue Angers' Azzedine Ounahi opened Morocco's account with this superb shot from 25 metres out. Another Liga star, Paris Saint-Germain's Achraf Hakimi, sealed the match for the Atlas Lions 21 minutes from time. The 4-1 second leg victory earned them a place among the world football elite for the 6th time. Tunisia travelled to Bamako, where Mali were aiming to become the 14th African nation to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. The locals were horrified to see the would-be debutants trail Tunisia on this Moussa Sissoko first-half own goal. Not much separated the two sides in the return leg in Rades. An own goal was enough to place Tunisia among Africa's quintet, their 6th qualification. The FIFA Arab Cup Qatar 2021 attracted fans from across the Middle East and North Africa. Amongst the 500,000 plus in attendance, 2 had an extraordinary football odyssey.
Like any good Brazilian, I really love football. I will be at the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. Attending the Arab Cup was like my preparation. I think that, like with a football team, you've got to have an attack, a defense, and a midfield. I've got this partnership with my friend Edmundo, who's come here with me from Rio Grande do Sul in the south of Brazil. I appear in front of the camera and talk while he's the video maker. He does all the work and magic and makes great videos for our followers to watch. That's what it's like. It's a duo like Ronaldinho and Ronaldo.
E é isso, é uma tabelinha, é como Ronaldinho e Ronaldo aqui.
The other half of the Brazilian duo was pleasantly surprised with what he saw in Qatar.
E chegando aqui,
We were welcomed very warmly. People were selfless and helped us because we'd got into a new country and we didn't know how to take the metro, or how to communicate, or where to go. And people from here, both from Qatar and the Middle East in general, from Tunisia and Morocco, helped us and acted as our guides.
Guias pra gente.
These 2 avid fans planned their journey meticulously so that they could take full advantage of what was on offer for keen supporters like themselves.
Ir a 2 jogos.
Going to 2 games in one day could be really trying. But it's the best way to get tired. It's an intense experience throughout the day. This starts with the transport. We walk to a metro station. The stations here are wonderful and well organized, and we're able to get to a stadium with no problem, even without speaking the language. This is wonderful. And for people coming to the World Cup, they'll be able to find themselves around the cities without any problems.
Vai conseguir se localizar em qualquer lugar da cidade.
You couldn't miss them at the 20 matches they attended with their Brazilian and Qatari flags, and Paulinho always wore the colours of the Seleção.
Essa camisa amarela do Brasil.
This yellow Brazil shirt and the Brazil flag is a passport to friendship with anyone in the world. It is often the case that someone doesn't understand your language. They don't speak English or Portuguese. They look at me and say, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Pele, Neymar. From this moment on, you don't need to know someone else's language. You're speaking the language of football. That's how it is.
They found themselves in familiar surroundings, thanks largely to fans as passionate as themselves.
When I'm home, I will tell everyone that people from here, from this part of the world, experience football as intensely as we do there. I heard chanting in the stadiums by Tunisia and Moroccan fans. I played tambourine, which is really Brazilian, with Saudi Arabia fans. You're not aware that people in these parts experience football just the same as we do. And if I'm in a stadium and close my eyes, I feel like I'm in a stadium in Brazil.
Realmente no estádio do Brasil.
Having posted copious social media stories during the FIFA Arab Cup, They'll continue to share anecdotes with their followers.
Eu vou contar pro pessoal do Brasil.
I'll tell people in Brazil that if they come to the World Cup, it'll be the best experience of their lives. Not just because of football. We know that Brazilians will really get behind the football that they love anyhow. But both in gastronomy and getting to experience other cultures, it'll be the most enriching experience you can have here. They'll remember it for the rest of their lives without a shadow of doubt.
Isso pro resto da vida, eu tenho certeza.
After getting to know Qatar pretty well, their plans for later this year are firmly in place.
Having been here before, I know what the distances between the stadiums are, which is the closest and which is the farthest, so I've got no doubts. My main plan is to watch every game possible and, of course, watch the World Cup final. There is no doubt that this is my biggest dream, to watch the final.
Está na final. A gente visitou aqui na Copa.
In the Arab Cup, we visited all of the host cities, and the Lusail Stadium wasn't part of this. We really hope that we're here for the final, watching Brazil, and it would be the best possible experience for us, being in the Lusail Stadium at the World Cup final watching our team. But our desire is to be in this stadium regardless of who plays in the final. Our dream is to be back here for the World Cup, experiencing this even more full-on, with more nationalities, more people, and having an even bigger party.
Mais pessoas e uma festa ainda maior.
Saudi Arabian fans celebrated their country's 6th qualification for the FIFA World Cup when competition resumed in March. With impressive performances, they topped Asia's Group B ahead of heavyweights Japan and Australia.
This is a matter of great pride for the people of Saudi Arabia, especially as this generation has the potential to compete at the highest level. I am proud that the team is in the World Cup. This next edition will be highly competitive. We have a coach who can lead our players to the highest level. Therefore, we expect that our team will do well in this tournament.
Nawaf Al-Temyat, the 2000 Asian Player of the Year, played in 3 consecutive FIFA World Cups between 1998 and 2006. The then attacking midfielder knows the full weight of responsibility that comes with being part of the national squad.
Being part of the history of the World Cup and representing my country in one of the biggest events in the world is something I tell my children about today. I pass on my experiences from the 3 editions I took part in to the current generation, as I learned from the generation before me, who first qualified in 1994.
Saudi Arabia burst onto the global stage with encouraging displays at USA 94. Their FIFA World Cup debut is always remembered by an unforgettable solo goal, a favourite of Al-Temyat.
The Saudi Arabian national team's goal by Saeed Al-Awairan in 1994. It was a fantastic goal. I watched it as a viewer, and 4 years later, I was able to participate in the World Cup in 1998 with the same group of players. It was an unforgettable moment for me. That Saeed Al-Awairan goal, along with Captain Sami's leadership, who was leading the team in the World Cup.
4 years later, the then 21-year-old Nawaf made his FIFA World Cup debut in France during Saudi Arabia's last group stage match against South Africa.
Words cannot describe my feelings when I heard my country's anthem at a global event like the World Cup. The World Cup matches are watched by everyone. It's something that stays in the memory of all fans the world over. Nothing comes close to the feeling of pride when you represent your country on such a prestigious world stage.
Al-Temyat retired from international football in 2006. A distinguished student of the game, he recently graduated from an international sports management course and even took the presidency of his country's football federation for 2 years. He's incredibly excited by the region's first truly global event and is impressed by what he's seen in neighbouring Qatar.
I think the stadiums in Qatar for the World Cup are very special. The Al Bayt Stadium took my breath away, as it reflects a significant part of our culture, customs and traditions. Each stadium has its unique story, but this stadium caught my attention.
Al-Temyat is well aware of what staging a FIFA World Cup means for the region at large.
It's vital to learn from this experience, and as a host, Qatar should share this knowledge with all Arab countries around us, as we still need to learn how to organise high-profile sporting events. This experience elevates us to new heights and brings us to a different phase.
Outside the region, the thoughtful Al-Temyat hopes the Arab world's first FIFA World Cup will be a true catalyst for change beyond Qatar's playing fields.
I hope that all those who come to watch the World Cup in Qatar 2022 will get to know the region's culture, traditions and customs. Their visit will no doubt help break stereotypes, as they'll see us for who we are. This event will improve our image before the eyes of the world. They will experience Arabia's rich culture and traditions, around for thousands of years.
With international competition in Oceania effectively cancelled since 2019, Qatar, the home of this year's global finals, welcomed 8 of the continent's hopefuls to fight it out in a centralised preliminary tournament. 2 groups of 4, including Solomon Islands, Tahiti, Vanuatu and Cook Islands in Group A, and New Zealand, New Caledonia, Fiji and Papua New Guinea in Group B, contested a round-robin group stage, semi-finals and final. It was a welcome invitation for the Federation.
Without Qatar, we would not be playing. Many of our countries are still in lockdown. Some of them are experiencing a rapid increase in cases on a day-by-day basis. So many of the countries, as I said, are in lockdown, and there was no way that we could organise flights between countries.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's brilliant to be back playing. We've missed it for a long period of time. Obviously the world's been the way it has been for a long period of time now, and everybody's just trying to get back to normal. But no, for us being able to get together as a nation, finally have our qualifications, it's been great, even though it hasn't been smooth sailing and it hasn't been a smooth process of how it's come about. It's nice to be playing and especially nearing that step to hopefully our final goal.
We've been around this region through November, December last year, and the temperature was very, very playable, as it has been now in this tournament. And the one thing we have seen is the quality of the pitches is world class. The training facilities are outstanding as well. So look, we've had no complaints.
Even though the qualifiers were able to take place in Qatar, the teams still face challenges in their preparations.
We resumed training and COVID hit the Solomon Islands for the first time. So we have to stop completely for 4 weeks, which for physical aspect of the game is awful because the players, they couldn't even go outside to run. And then we start training in groups of 5 players, 1 hour each group. The government only allows us to do that, which is okay to get the fitness back, but in tactical matters, it doesn't do anything for you. And then we resume training for like 2 weeks, and we decide to go to Australia to do a mini camp. The federation, the budget is limited, and make a huge effort to go there to play. And when we arrived in Queensland, we had the biggest rainfall in the history of Queensland.
I just want to acknowledge the people of Qatar and their warmth and generosity and welcome spirit, which has been just amazing.
The Solomon Islands had the chance to create history when they took on Oceania heavyweights New Zealand in the final. However, the all-whites class shone through in the end with a comprehensive 5-0 victory that was crowned with Matt Garbett's maiden international goal. New Zealand are through to their 4th consecutive playoff for a World Cup place. They meet Costa Rica in Doha. The Doha Exhibition and Convention Centre hosted the draw for the 22nd FIFA World Cup on the 1st of April. The 860 qualifiers played in FIFA's 6 member confederations placed 28 nations alongside the hosts Qatar in the draw. Ahead of the draw, Laib, dressed in a traditional Arabic headdress, was revealed as the tournament mascot. This highly skilled player's main task in the months ahead is to encourage everyone to believe in themselves, as Laib will bring the joy of football to the world. Laib's spirit was very much present, as 8 FIFA World Cup legends were on stage to start the proceedings. With Qatar and the other 7 top seeds in place, the Netherlands were drawn to join the hosts in Group A, but not as their opening day opponent. Reigning champions France drew Denmark in Group D from the second pot, an opponent they met at the same stage 4 years earlier. Ghana's placement in Group H concluded the draw. 5 remaining playoff matches to be played in June will complete the list of finalists for the last 32-team FIFA World Cup. The Arab world's 12-year wait is finally coming to an end. The world will be in for a truly spectacular event later in 2022. Next month, we'll see what's on the menu in Qatar later this year. We'll experience a passion like no other through the lenses and pins. And we'll take a comprehensive look at the FIFA World Cup draw.